you are able to attract a lot of good leaders. So I don't know whether you like to consider a Doodhwala as a leader, because generally nobody wants to become a Doodhwala, or Chai Wala, or a Hotel Wala. Everybody wants to become a share market Wala. Bombay में तो वही है. So, well, why I'm saying is because I remember when I was born way back in 1958 in a small village of 50 households in Pakistan border in Firozpur district. I mean, we had no dreams. I had a little bit education in my school only, in the village school. Then 1965 in the Pakistan war, we were forced to ship to Delhi for schooling. I did my middle class studied in a municipal school in Delhi, R.K. Puram. Then my high secondary 9 to 11. Those days, high secondary used to be only till 11 classes from a government school. And then fortunately, I got admission into one college at Udaipur CTI to complete my Bachelor of Engineering in Agriculture. And I liked it because of my background of agriculture, because when at village we used to do our all agriculture, cultivation, etc. So dream is, when I was in RK Puram sector 1, we were staying in a rented one room house, and that was of government houses given rent by the peons. So morning I used to see all peons dressed up in white, carrying the tiffin, boarding at the DTC or Delhi Transportation bus to the various offices and coming at 5 o'clock. So I used to wonder, envy them, what a life these people have got. They have got house, they have got going, and we in the village are all day, doing the hard work, either in the night cultivating during May, June, July, harvesting the paddy, then July, August, transplanting the paddies, standing in the puddle of 2 feet water. So that was the dream. When I got into Bachelor of Agriculture Engineering at Udaipur, during those the job never used to be the problem. During campus only, everybody used to get a junior engineer in the government of Rajasthan. So that time everybody aspired to become a junior engineer, government department, and will get a jeep to move around the villages. But as the luck would have been, I got admission into, after my engineering of 5 years, into very prestigious management Institute of Rural Management, Anand, IRMA. Dr. Varghese Kurian started in 1980. So I got admitted into that college for 2 years. And then when I passed out of that IRMA, in the campus only I got this placement at Amul. So last 39 years working with Amul, my first job, I could not get any another job. So I have to stick with it. First 13 years I was in the field. I was in the sales. And last 27 years, 26, 25 years, I am at head office looking after various functions, and now last 10, 11 years, giving leadership to the organization. So very lucky to very fortunate. Why I'm telling you students is, first thing, before I tell about Amul, it is very good. You should plan your future. You should dream about your future. You should know where you want to do. But there's no dearth of opportunity. Even if you don't get what you want, the world is not lost. Whichever way, wherever you go, you give your best. You do. Dr. Kuri used to say to his grandson, because he used to like the security guard standing outside, I want to become a security guard. So he said, yes, you should become a security guard, but the best security guard in the world. So whatever you want to do, it has to be the best, it has to be excellent. Our time there used to be only 4 streams: engineering, medical, commerce or arts. Now there are hundreds of streams of opportunity. So only don't get discouraged or don't get, oh, I wanted to become doctor, I wanted to become manager. अब कुछ भी बनना चाहे काम कीजिए, you'll word is abhi opportunities are better. So this is in short of my thing. Now let me tell you about Amul. Since you are from a commerce and a business management background, let me tell you, Amul is a cooperative society and is an organization owned by 36 lakh farmers of Gujarat with the last year turnover of 52,000 crore. It is India's biggest food or FMCG company, much bigger than the multinational located in Bombay or Bangalore. You know them. And last 10 years, our average growth rate is around 14%, double than the industry standards. And this organization is, when I say owned by farmers, mean no government does not have a single share, nor any corporate, nor a multinational, or any individual. Each 36 lakh farmers have got only one share. So ownership is same. Even if, I mean, this is 74 years old organization. So whether you've taken shares 74 years back or yesterday, value is same, ownership same. I mean, by just pouring 1 liter milk in a village cooperative society for 250 days, you become a member and you own the Amul brand. And if you want to just ask, the value of Amul brand is more than 2-3 lakhs. So you become an owner. So the farmers share the wealth. So Amul started in 1946. That is also because of Bombay. Whole credit goes to Bombay. I mean, till 40s. I mean, it is before independent Britishers were ruling India. And in Bombay, the British officers and army, they were not getting the good quality of milk. They were falling sick. So the milk commissioner came to Anand and saw here good milk. So he gave monopoly to one private dairy fellow, Polson, to buy milk from farmers. And Polson said, you will not allow anybody else. I'll buy all the surplus milk and supply to Bombay. So he used to buy and then supply to Bombay Britishers and the government. And naturally, business objective of any private enterprise is to maximize profit. So, and especially if you got a monopoly, he never used to, I mean, he started exploiting farmers because farmers were very small by not giving them good prices of milk, especially during winter when production increases by 30%. And then when farmers were feeling exploited, they went to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel because Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel also hailed from this place only under the leadership of our first chairman Tribhuvandas Patel, and told Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel the whole story, the how Olson is exploiting them. And then Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel gave them one business lesson which is very, very relevant in today's context, what you saying, all this farmers agitation are going on. He told the farmers and Tribhuvandas Patel that if you want very good price for your produce, very stable price for your produce, you don't want to be exploited, you should not only produce milk. You should aggregate, process and market it yourself. You should own the whole supply chain. If you own the whole supply chain, you will get the maximum share of consumer rupee. And when there are too many small people, the best structure to do any business was to make a cooperative society. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel recommended them to make a cooperative society. And but Britishers have given a monopoly to Paulson, how can they go back from their words? They were written agreement. So British said, we will not buy milk from cooperative society. We will not register a cooperative society. So farmers went on strike for 15 days. They stopped giving milk to the Paulson. When Paulson didn't get the milk, he could not send to the Bombay. In Bombay, milk could not reach Britishers' wives, and they could not get good quality milk. So they sent again the milk commissioner back to Anand to talk to the farmers. And farmers put only one condition. You want milk, we'll give you, but you have to buy directly from us. That is our cooperative society, and you have to register our society. So Britishers were compelled, and in 1946, 31st of August, Amul was registered as a cooperative society, Kera District Cooperative Milk Producer Union Limited. And Amul started supplying milk to the Bombay. And then we started with only 2 village cooperative society and 257 liters of milk. And today, Amul is having their cooperative society at 18,500 village cooperatives, villages in Gujarat. And today, we are procuring 295 lakh liters of milk per day. I mean, the total milk which we procure is more than the total production of New Zealand, Amul only, or Australia. So that is the thing. And we started from there. And basically, before I started they asked me why Amul is not listed. So I'm coming back. Because shares market, you don't find Amul. The business objective of Amul is to maximize value for many. Value for many means providing stable and attractive price to the 3.6 million farmers who are the owners, whose livelihood depend upon supplying milk. And they are very small farmer, 2 or 3 cows and buffalo, and the husband, 80% of landless and marginal farmers. The husband may be working in a field or little land, and wife and kids may be taking care of cattle or buffalo and milking and giving to village cooperative society. Whatever money they get, they buy the daily grocery or take care of children education. So Amul's first objective is value for many, and the second objective is value for money. Value for money is providing the very tasty, nutritious, pure ingredients using products by using latest technology for processing and packaging at affordable price to billions of consumers. And in other companies, they buy raw material based on the markets. Here, we develop market based on the raw material which we are getting from our members or owners. We can't refuse not a single liter of milk. We can't say demand is for X, so we'll accept only X. If X plus 1 is milk is coming, we have to double market for X plus 1. And that is why value for many, value for money. Now coming to the main objectives of organization, like what is the objective, sales objective of business objectives given to CEO of Amul vis-a-vis any other corporate or multinational, because then you'll be able to understand why Amul is not listed. If you are a CEO of any private enterprise or multinational, what your board expect? Your board expects that you buy your raw material at as low as price possible, because in case of dairy, 18% is cost of milk, and you sell a finished product at as high price as possible. So in between, keeping maximum gross profit, or in commerce language it is called, on share price market is called EBITDA, earning before income tax and other thing. Okay, But what are the business objectives given to me by my board? They told me, Mr. Sodhi, you have to buy your raw material at as high as possible. You have to sell this raw material after processing and at such a price that whatever raw material we offer, you accept it and you are able to sell it. So, end of the day, I have to ensure that there is a minimum gross profit or EBITDA. My performance is measured at as low as EBITDA I keep, or gross profit I keep. I buy at 100. If I sell at 103, it's a good thing. If I buy at 100 and I sell at 120, I'm a bad manager. So, imagine what happens is, whatever money we get from the consumer, we deduct our expenses and give back everything back to the farmers. No farmer is interested in what you called is an annual dividend. Why? Because everybody is holding only one share. What farmer is interested is getting good price for the milk. Somebody is pouring 2 liters, somebody is pouring 5 liters, somebody is pouring even 50 liters. So if we list our share in the market and say you will only get 15 rupees dividend, no share price increase, no profit, who will buy our share, you tell me. So that is why we are not listed and there is no need. Our share has to be a farmer. If you buy 1 or 2 cows, stay in Gujarat, you become our shareholders. So what are the, now coming to, because I've got not 10, 11 minutes more, so I have to finish. Now, Amul is today number 1. So you must be wondering what are the reasons and what are the learnings out of this. Well, reasons, if you ask me what are the reasons for success for Amul, I can tell you it is because of consistency. Consistency in leadership for the business objective, consistency in product recipes, consistency in communication, and consistency in our HR practices. Now coming to the consistency in leadership and the business objective. Leadership in 1946, Tirupati Patel started Amul. Then in 1949, Dr. Verghese Kurian had come back from USA after completion of his master's in metallurgy and dairy from Michigan State University. He had gone in 1946 for 2 years on Government of India scholarship and gone there. And when he returned, because he was on scholarship, Government of India said you have to go for 6 months, wherever you want to do a job or apprentice, and then you are free, you can join anywhere. So Dr. Kurian was forced to come to Anand and work here in a small, closed government dairy. And that time he started interacting with the chairman, Tirupati Patel, who had recently started the cooperative society, and he was struggling. He was able to collect the milk, but he was not able to process it to keep it chill, to send it to Bombay, and his milk was getting cut. So he sought the help of Dr. Verghese Kurian because he was the master's in dairy from Michigan State University. And Dr. Kurian said, okay, you want to extend the shelf life, you have to pasteurize it, and you need a plate pasteurizer. And Tirupati Patel said, what is this pasteurizer? Who supplies? Why don't you help us? Oh, Dr. Kurian said, okay, give me money. I'll go to Bombay, I'll place order with the Alpha Label, and you will get it. L&T that time. It was also there who were importing it. So Tirupati Patel had no money. He borrowed the money by giving his wife's jewelry as a collateral and gave cash to Dr. Kurian to order the pasteurizer. Dr. Koren ordered the pasteurizer. During those days, it was imported. By the time pasteurizer arrived, Dr. Koren's 6 months were over. So he went to the Patel, look here, I'm now a free bird. Now I want to enjoy my life. Let me go to Bombay, enjoy it. Because Dr. Koren was from a very well-to-do family. His father was a very senior surgeon in the armed forces. His one uncle was firstly Tata Steel chairman and then India's first finance minister. So well-connected family. And best of the education he had. So then Tribhuvan Patel told him, look, Korean, you only persuaded us to buy a pasteurizer. We ordered it, it has come. Now if you go back, who will install it? Who will train my people? Why don't you stay for 3 months here? I'll give you salary, you train, install this pasteurizer, train my people and then you go. You are a free bird. So Dr. Koren reluctantly agreed to stay for 3 months in 1949 and he stayed at Anand for 61, 62 years till his last day. And then he made India what it is today. If I tell you, India's milk production till mid-70 was around 20-21 million metric ton. We were 1/3 of USA, 1/8 of Europe. And today, we are world's largest producer of milk, double than the USA and 25% more than the Europe. How it happened? In mid-70s, the farmers, the policymakers, and the political leadership decided that we have to become self-reliant, Atmanirbhar, in milk. And how Atmanirbhar? Replicate already a very successful model, Amul, in some part of Gujarat. And Dr. Verghese Kurian was given the responsibility by Lal Bahadur Shastri, who by chance came to Anand, stayed in a farmer's house, saw himself the prosperity, and then he told Dr. Kurian to replicate Amul through by forming a new organization called National Dairy Development Board, and then Dr. Kurian replicated. And by mid-90s, we not only became self-reliant, but world largest producer. So you can see that how one man changed the history of India. And we, till mid-70s, we were an importer of milk like we were in edible oil. 75,000 crore rupees we are importing edible oil. And milk we are not only self-sufficient, but now surplus. So first reason, consistent leadership. So we were lucky to have a very selfless, dedicated political leadership, Tribhuvan Patel, and a very committed professional leadership, Dr. Verghese Kurian, throughout the period. Tribhuvan Patel was there 1946 to mid-90s. Dr. Kurian was associated 1949 to 2006. He was chairman, but then later on also he passed away in 2012. So, and same is true. I had opportunity with Dr. Verghese Kurian for more than 30 years. So because of selfless, dedicated, committed political and professional leadership, this organization can be created. Second reason for success is consistency in product recipes. What butter we introduced 60 years back and what today you eat in Bombay is same. We have never changed the recipe of a product to reduce the cost of production, which most of the brands will do. Once any product becomes successful, the task given to the brand or the production charges, please reduce the cost of production. And how you can reduce the cost of production of a food product? You replace expensive ingredients with the cheap ingredients. You replace 400 rupees per kg dairy fat with palm oil and with 70 rupees kg cheese or milk or paneer or ice cream, which will be called frozen dessert. And you reduce 30% cost. But Amul has never changed. We may, and some people will add the sugar, some popular never. Or they'll reduce the product grammage from 1 kg to 950 gram or 900 gram by keeping the same size of pack, but Amul has never done it. Because Dr. Kurian used to tell us, always think your customer or consumer is smarter than you. Don't try to shortchange him. Then only you will not win his loyalty or faith, but you have to win the blind faith of your consumers in your brand. And blind faith is like the faith you have got in your religion, where you don't question it. Why I'm a Sikh, why you are Hindu, why you are Christian, why I'm wearing turban. You just walk into a store, you pick Amul butter, you pick Amul cheese without looking left or right. So that is the blind faith comes over a period. See, faith in a brand never comes from you feel through advertising in the newspaper or channel. No. It comes through your own experience, own perception only. And that comes over a period of time. You may become loyal. Today I came just now from Delhi. I came Indigo. I like Indigo. I like SpiceJet also. I like Air India also. All are equal. But I don't have blind faith कि अगर इंडिगो का भाड़ा 500 रुपए ज्यादा भी होगा, I'll travel only in Indigo. No, I'll go to SpiceJet or I'll check all the fare. It's not that just blindly I'll buy one. So, consistent recipe. Third is very important. I think you students will be interested. Consistent communication. Amul started brand building when no Indian brand used to advertise, mid-50s. And when in mid-60s, the Amul butter was launched and Dr. Kurian asked the solicitor Decona to develop the campaign and we had no money. So he developed this utterly butterly delicious campaign, the butter topical, which you see, and it started from one holding Bombay only chapati, first holding. And this is the world's longest run campaign. And we spent peanuts on this campaign. Brand has been built on not spending lavishly, only uniquely in a very creative way, brand has been built. And this Amul butter girl, utterly butterly delicious, she comments on anything, everything happening in India, politics, Hollywood, Bollywood, or global politics, anywhere. She does not spare anybody. She does not favor anybody. And she's not afraid of anybody. And nobody minds also. And then in mid-90s, we started Amul, the taste of India. In 2000, we started Amul Doodh Pita India. So whatever you do, positioning we take near a consistent, we have never changed it. And that is why our advertising spend is less than 1%. Whereas our competitors or other FMCG company are 8 to 15%. But still we are able to build top of the book. And we have followed umbrella branding. So consistent in communication, we are able to build the brand by spending minimum. And also the blind faith. And lastly, consistency in HR. I mean, I'm very lucky. It is not only that it is my first job. So is my colleague who are with me at all senior position. We do not do any lateral recruitment. We go to the campuses, best of the campuses in India, hire people different type, whether they're dairy technology, veterinary, management, different, and hire best talent, pay them reasonably good salaries, and we retain them. And out of that only we bring people up. And no doubt people come and leave also. Everybody cannot go up. But we believe having pure DNA. We do not a hybrid. We build our own breed. And that is able to ensure that the value system, what Dr. Varghese Kurian or Thirumaldas Patel has given or inculcated the foundation of the organization, that is carried forward. And we are very lucky. That is where the organization is growing at much faster rate than others. So it is because of consistency in whatever you do. No doubt with the change in time with the technology and other thing we adopted, the latest technology you see anything, whether it's supply chain or processing. So while ending, this organization growing future is good because future of Amul, future any food company in India is directly proportional to number of stomachs. We have got 1.35 billion, by 2050 it will be 1.7 billion. More money, more income, more disposable income, more spending on packed up branded products. So market to बढ़ने वाली है, we are not worried. Only thing, how you can become competitive. So challenges are there. First challenge is especially which our urban consumer to understand, if we want that our, not only we, but our children also should get a fresh glass of milk morning breakfast, or you get a fresh fruits or vegetables, you have to see somebody grows in the villages. How to motivate next generation of farmers, the younger, the educated, to stay back in the villages and grow food, grow, produce milk through their cattle, so that we, the urban cities, get it. How to make dairy or animal husbandry or farming a very contemporary, very, I can say is a very in thing, or very hot, or very, in your language, very, you call very sexy. So how to make it? So that is a big challenge, and that is only possible if this farming is also very, very remunerative and in a modern way. So what we are trying to make is how they make a dairy farming very contemporary by doing it in a modern way, using computers. I mean, why startups are not only on the laptop, startups can be having a farm of 50 cows and buffalo. So this is one. And then there are a lot of other challenges. Free import from the rich dairy countries where it's a business in India, is a livelihood. Or the latest challenges from the plant-based beverages, which are nutritionally not even 1/10 of milk, which is called almond milk or protein or soya milk. And if you see the contents of those, just see the almond milk, nothing but factory manufactured chemicals. List of chemicals you read, and they write milk. There's nothing, no nutrition in that, and 5 times more costly. Emulsifier, artificial color, artificial flavor, starch, palm oil, दुनिया भर के प्रोडक्ट होते हैं उसमें, और बड़े प्यार से आलमंड लिख के भेज देते, 3% आलमंड डाल देंगे और आप लोग उसका 300 रुपए लीटर दे देते हो, especially today's millennial. So these are the challenges. So in the end, I can tell the young students that you are lucky that you are born in India, which is, and our biggest asset is our population. You are also lucky because India is going to be the fastest growing economy because of the largest market and fastest growing market. And food is one segment which is recession proof. And the organized food is growing at the rate of double digit. You can't see any recessionary trend in that. So a lot of opportunities for the young entrepreneurs, young scientists, young businessmen to get into the food and make their fortune. So again, in the end, I thank all the students for listening to me and the Narsee Monjee management for giving me this opportunity. So thank you very much. Thank you. So Dave, now it is to you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a brilliant session, and we loved it. We enjoyed it, and I hope our students also learned a lot from the session. So I think we'll take some questions. We'll see. We have around 20 minutes, so everybody can put their questions in the comment session, in the Q&A session, and then we can take the questions. Okay, so this question is, So, sir, now you see there is a lot of noise around people turning vegan,
हाँ,
and there is. So, how does Amul encounter it? What are the challenges
देखिए,
and what are the
हाँ,
solutions?
देखिए, जो वेगन क्या चल रहा है उसमें क्या दे आर सेइंग, मिल्क इज पॉइजन, मिल्किंग प्रोड्यूसर इज क्रूरलिटी।
Hmm.
ये दो यूज करते हैं, सो यू शुड ईट वेगन। देखिए उसमें, लेट अस फर्स्ट टॉक अबाउट द क्रूरलिटी
Hmm.
टू द एनिमल। ओके, देखिए, इन इंडिया rearing or keeping cows or buffalo at home, they are the family member, two or three. They are given name. If you go to any village, each family is having one or two cows, buffalo in their home as like a family member. ओके, हमारे यहाँ पे तो देखिए हमारे भगवान श्री कृष्ण जी भी दूध वाले, सो वही है। एंड लेट मी टेल यू, if you see the whole ecosystem, I tell you, we grow plant. Plant is giving two things. One is the grains, one is the leftover roughage. Grains are eaten by the human being. Roughage is given to the animals. They eat it. They give milk. Milk has got two portions. One is calf is taking, remaining is surplus. Calf requirement of milk is when it is born, 400 ml to 800 ml. A cow gives 3, 4, 5, 10 liters. If you do not take the full milk out of the udder of the cow, it will become poison. And if the calf drinks it later, he or she will die. Whatever surplus milk is given to the farmer, he consumes for his family, and the remaining he sells to the market. And whatever money is realized, he's buying his grocery needs, and also he's buying food for feeding the cow buffalo. And cow is not only giving milk, cow is also giving 20 kg of cow dung. And cow dung is going back to the farms, which is a feed for the plants. If you don't put bio fertilizer in the soil, it will become desert, because if you keep chemical fertilizer, you are killing the microbes. Over few years, it will be unproductive soil. So bio fertilizer or the cow dung is essential. So it's an eco-cycle. Cow dung is feeding to the plants. Plants are fed to the man and the cattle. So it is like, if you break it, everybody will die. I tell you simple. People say don't drink milk, is a poison. Okay, you stop. What will happen? You stop drinking milk. Farmers will stop producing milk. Farmers will stop producing milk because nobody is buying. So there are 300 million cows and buffalo. So farmers will stop feeding to cows and buffalo, and they will die. So it is not a cruelty. Okay, and then if 300 million cows and buffalo die, cow dung will not come. Your farms will not be able to grow. You will get only chemical food. So what will happen to you? To your brain, if you just take a pack of any milk and take a pack of any vegan called milk, oat milk or almond milk or something, just read the ingredients. Milk has got only one ingredient, either it is a full cream or toned or standard, so nothing else. And any of these so-called vegan product, it starts with the water, it starts with the palm oil, artificial color, artificial flavor, stabilizer, 4, 5 types of. There are 6, 7 lines of ingredients. So these vegan products, what you eat at 3, 4 times cost is, like I mentioned, factory manufactured chemicals. And nutrition, there's no nutrition. Animal milk is 1/10 of the nutrition of milk. There's hardly, there is, except a little bit in soya, there's hardly any protein. There's no fat. And the type of protein which milk has got, no other product has got. The type of protein which is absorbable, which help us in building our brain, especially during childhood, it makes our brain sharper. And also the fat brings a lot of immunity and it has got a vitamin research. जो देखिए यहाँ हजारों सालों से लोग दूध पी के ही सब, हम मैं तो वेगन के जो बात करते हैं, मैं उनको बोलता हूँ आप बहुत इंटेलिजेंट हो, बहुत शार्प हो, हैं? आप घर जाके अपनी मदर से पूछ लेना आपकी इंटेलिजेंस आई कहाँ से। अगर आपने बचपन में वेगन खाया होता तो आपको अभी बिस्तर पे ही पड़े होते, आपकी हड्डियां चिरमरा गई होती, क्योंकि कैल्शियम नहीं है।
Calcium.
Because they chemically fortify everything. Chemically fortify. Chemically fortify is why natural thing is why you want to chemically just read the label, all chemically fortified. Okay. So we are not worried. Gradually, this is a fact. People will understand, will see the ill effects on their health after a few years. Then they'll come back. There are a number of cases, number of celebrities who have come back. See, we initially it was building more light, but later on it started showing on our skin, it started showing on our brain, it started showing on our growth, on our energy, immunity system. Then again come back.
Very, very satisfying answer. So we got our answers. We'll take the next question. Sir, what is your take on the farm bills proposed by the government and the agitation which is going on?
You see, it is a firstly, whatever farm bill has come, there are three farm bill. One first is that farmer is free to sell to anybody and buyer is free to buy from anybody, anywhere. There is no. Second is on contract farming, and third is on essential commodity. The storage limit is not there. I am in favor that, like any other industry, any service where manufacturer or service provider can buy, sell anybody, why farmers is restricted to sell his produce only through 7,000 or APMC, so they should be allowed. Problem came, farmers' apprehension that their land and other things will be taken over by the big corporates and other things. I feel first thing is farmers were not communicated properly about the benefits. And second thing is they should have done some in phases. First act would have been come, and lakhs of MSP should have been, SMSC should have been entered in the business of aggregating like milk in each village, starting buying and using the infrastructure of the big corporates. And then later on it should have come with Act 2 and 3. But overall this farm bill is good for the farmers. Because with the MSP in paddy and everybody is growing this, lot of, and we are importing pulses, we are importing 75,000 crore rupees edible oil. It has to demand and supply has to match. So I think gradually farmers are not fully communicated the benefits.
Okay, got it. I'll take the next question. Yeah, so the question is, can an ordinary person working in Amul with his hard work and dedication become the managing director like you?
Anybody can become. I told you I never thought I wanted to become a PL, then junior engineer. And when I joined Amul 39 years, I never thought. It's not only Amul, anywhere you can, I mean, hard work, patience चाहिए. Unfortunately, that is missing. हमारे यहाँ तो हर 200-300 और हमारा को बता रहे भैया मेरा 7 वाले को 2000 ज्यादा जॉब मिलती है, मुझे 5000 वाले में जाना चाहिए. और somebody wants to say कि I want to only work in the Bombay, Delhi, वहाँ पे शाम को 5 से 6 दोस्त बहुत हैं. Dr. Korean in 1949 came to Anand. When it's a village of 5,000 people, he could not get a house to stay in a garage. He gave his own life, and then only he could create the history. अगर आपको ऊपर जाना है तो भैया sacrifice करना पड़ेगा, hard work करना पड़ेगा. Wait, then nothing in shortcut. Overnight you can't achieve anything.
Perfect.
If we call Dr. Koren used to call it कि MBAs are like monkey business administrator. जैसे बंदर एक डाल से दूसरे डाल पे कूदता है ना, तो आजकल के बच्चे ऐसे हो गए हैं. एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन गए, वहां से बॉस ने थोड़ा उल्टा सीधा किया, नौकरी चेंज कर दी. एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन गए, साल बाद CV भेजना शुरू कर देते हैं. नेचुरली करोगे 5,000 जॉब, 65,000 वहां चले जाएंगे, फिर 5,000. एंड देन वंस यू चेंज 4-5 जॉब्स, nobody wants to take you at a higher level. So they lose track. तो कुछ करने के लिए आपको कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा, उसके पीछे पड़ना पड़ेगा, and you should have patience.
Got it. Brilliant answer. We'll take for the next question. So yes, this question is, there are millions of farmers working with Amul. So how do you manage that there are no conflicts between everybody, and how does Amul function very smoothly without any issues?
Good question, because I could not explain you the Amul structure, which is called Amul pattern 3-tier system. And Amul बाहर वाले को एक ही ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लगती है, but there are 18,500 separate financial entities. We call it 3-tier structure. At the bottom, there is a village cooperative society in each village. 200 members are there, and there is a management committee of 9 people who are managing the village cooperative society. And village cooperative's job is to procure milk, check the quality and quantity through electronic system, and make the payment, and chill the milk in the bulk milk cooler. Then at the district level, we have got a processing union, which is called owned by the district union. And in a district where around 1,000 village cooperatives, they own the district union.
Okay.
And the chairman of 1,000 village cooperative society elect the board of the district union of 15 or 21 people. And these 15 to 21 people elect one of them as a chairman of district union. And there are 18 district union in Gujarat. So chairman of this 18 district union are the board of Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, where I work. And Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation job is to market the products of 18 district union or 18,500 village cooperative societies or 3.6 million farmers under Amul brand. So if any conflict, it has to be resolved at the appropriate level. And whole structure is democratically governed. Election is all democratically every 5 years.
So, Amul is already a very big success story, but the hierarchy at Amul is also a case study for students in MBA. We'll take the next question. Okay, 10 minutes, we'll just take 2 questions. Okay, so this question is, Dr. Kurian is a legend of India. He is the pioneer of how milk is distributed in India, and he's a legend. So you had the pleasure of working with Mr. Kurian. So what leadership lessons did you learn from him?
Yes, very good question. You see, the first thing I think Dr. Kurian has told us, adherence to the value systems. He used to talk about, you should have very, very strong value systems. And besides the usual values which any organization, like there are 2 values on which he never used to compromise. One is the integrity, and second is the excellence. I remember when I was passing out from IRMA and campus placement starting hua tha. So our Dr. Kurian used to come to IRMA. So one fellow asked Dr. Kurian, sir, you are recruiting a lot of people from various institutions. You are the chairman of Amul, NDB, and lots of other institutes. What do you look for a candidate when you select? So he said, yes, definitely we have to select and we want best people. So we look for 3 things. So what are those things? Integrity. First, integrity. He said, you are coming out of a professionally good institute, so आपका education अच्छा होगा, आप अच्छे मेहनती भी होगे, आपका IQ level भी अच्छा है, But if you are not 100% integrating, there's nothing like black, gray. It is either white or black.
Black.
Integrity है या नहीं है.
Hmm.
So especially for institution where you're working for the poor people, have-nots, who will not be able to check you, judge you. We need people with the highest standards of integrity. Second issue is the excellence. This is that, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, no doubt this is an organization of poor farmers, but it does not mean we are inferior in anything. Whatever you do, it has to be the best. Whether you are building roads, building plants, or hiring architecture, or designing advertising campaign, or designing packaging material, or hiring people, it has to be the best. So right from day one on excellence, he is to, and then his third was very important that, you have to see that you are working for the farmers, and farmers' living standards are much lower than you. So you look at them and then think how to manage, how to spend the money. But they are main things and very different from the value systems of other.
Brilliant lessons. So last 7 minutes, I think we can squeeze in 2 questions. Okay, so what is your expectations from the budget which is going to come, the most important budget of India?
Good. Lot of media people asked me, and I said I don't want to give any long list of expectation.
Okay.
And we want to give you put only one demand, which I think to few of your participants may be amazed or surprised to listen. What we want to say is that please consider a dairy farmer or a pashu palak also a farmer, or please consider livestock also agriculture, and whatever treatment, benefit, budgets you give to the agriculture, same should be available to the
poultry farmer.
Dairy, poultry, fishes. I'll give you example. India's agriculture central budget which is going to come on agriculture is 1,80,000 crore. About 1,10,000-15,000 is for all agricultural activities, and around 70,000 crore for the fertilizer subsidy. There are fertilizer subsidy, there are crop subsidy, there is a priority loan, there is no income tax. And you know what and how much, and you know contribution of agriculture to the national GDP is declining. It is only 16% now or 15%. It used to be 50% when India got independent. And you'd be surprised to know that out of the whatever agriculture GDP is there, 27% is contributed by the livestock.
Oh.
And you know how much livestock sector gets the budget? Only 3,400 crore. Only 2 or 3% of them. Only 2 or 3% of the agriculture budget goes for livestock, where 80% farmers and landowners are margin. Remaining 97% is going to the landowner farmers. Still, the mentality is of green revolution that we have to spend on fertilizer, on free power, free fertilizer, crop loan. Even agriculture, there is no income tax, but on dairy farming, poultry, there is income tax also. A farmer with the 100-acre land not paying income tax, where a farmer with the 10 cows of buffalo to file the income tax. So what we want to say, please don't treat a dairy farmer as a step son. Don't give step monetary treatment. Treat Pashu Palak also a agriculturist. That is what we are demanding from the budget.
Got it. Awesome. So one last question before ending the session. If you could give every student present here one piece of advice to follow for the rest of their lives, what it would be?
I think only one advice I can give you: don't underestimate your strength, your energy, or what you can do at any given time. What our situation be. Average human has got immense power.
Okay. Don't
Give your
underestimate
best,
yourself.
work hard, then wait. वो गीता में ना कर्म कीजिए, फल की इच्छा मत कर, फल मिलेगा. हमारे यहाँ फल की चक्कर में काम करना बंद कर देते हैं. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, it was a brilliant session, probably the best session we had in 3 days of our leadership summit. Thank you so much, Sodhi sir, for joining us.